we're up 1-0, so that beats the alternative. I just told our guys, we'll take the win. We protected our home court, and wins are hard to come by this time of the season. But our defense has to be a hell of a lot better. They shot 66% in that second half, and they didn't feel us, and they scored way too easy. So we don't want to get into trying to outscore teams and outlast teams. They went to a lot of big ball with LeBron, AD, and Rui out there. So definitely a lot of things that we can look at doing a lot better. But to get 19 fast break points, to rebounded them by 17, and 29 assists on 11 turnovers are all really good numbers. So I'd much rather clean up things after a win in the Western Conference Finals than a loss. So we'll take it, but much work to do.
Michael, on Nikola's night, what did you think of just kind of the aggressiveness he had to open that first quarter and how he set the tone? And then what was your take on that third quarter buzzer beater he had from three?
Yeah, let's be honest. We hit a couple of shots tonight. I think Nikola's, I think Jamal had one at the end of the shot clock. I'm not sure if Michael Porter's corner three went off the glass or not, but we had some shots that were we needed, obviously, in a game like tonight. But Nikola was great. 34 points, 21 rebounds, 14 assists, 2 blocks. And as you mentioned, Harrison, his aggression, him driving the ball, dunking the ball in traffic. And we always talk about an aggressive Nikola Jokic is a very effective Nikola Jokic. So, a hell of a job by him. Have to give Jamal a lot of credit, for playing through a game where he was questionable. 31, 5-5, 3 steals, another block shot. And battling through the illness, I give him a lot of credit.
You mentioned that the Lakers went big with Rui out there on Jokic. Just how did the game kind of shift when they started doing that?
Well, we were having a hard time scoring. We were turning the ball over. And, we had 19 fast break points tonight, but 17 were in the first half. That's because we were getting stops and turning them over and running out. In the second half, we didn't get stops, so it became a half-court game, which is to their favor. They have the number 1 defense in the playoffs. So for us, we have to continue to find ways to get pace into the game and not play against that set defense. They have tremendous size, length, and athleticism out there. But we did enough things. I thought, by the way, one of the biggest plays at night, Michael Porter getting on the floor for that loose ball. That 50-50 ball he came up with led to the only 2 transition points we scored in the second half on the Aaron Gordon dunk, and the ball arena went nuts at that point. So, Michael shot the ball well, rebounded the ball well, but that 50-50 ball was a game-winning type of a play.
Michael, you kind of touched on it there, but MPJ also had a couple of blocks on the rear contest. I'm just curious what you've seen from him defensively this postseason compared to what you got in the 2 or 3 previous postseasons with him.
Well, I think, he's doing what he's done all season, Vinny. I think you guys have heard me talk about it. I think this season has by far been Michael's best defensive season of his very young career. And, why is that? I think he's using his 6'10" frame, 7-foot wingspan, and most importantly, he cares. He wants to. He wants to win a championship. He came up to me during the Phoenix series and says, listen, man, if you want to get Bruce in at the end of a game, whatever you think is going to help us win the game, I just want to win. And so it's just another example of a guy being selfless and realizing that this is much bigger than any individual. This is about the collective. But, yeah, you're right. Coming from behind, blocking Austin Reeves' shot, making plays at the rim, getting on the glass, 10 boards. 15 and 10 for him, making 3 threes on a very efficient night is a hell of a night for Michael.
Coach, similar to last series, where they obviously have 2, all-time kind of players, really good scorers, you kind of have to pick your poison. But how do you make it a little harder on some of the shots that Reeves was able to get, or Rui at times, and limit their role players, I guess?
Yeah, it's, when Jamal Murray's got 5 fouls, we're not going to switch to pick and roll, let him guard LeBron one-on-one. Jamal is really important to us closing games. And, Austin Reeves made 2 threes late. I felt we did a great job on D'Angelo Russell, so great that he wasn't even in the game much in the second half. But, when you give so much attention to a LeBron and to an Anthony Davis, who both had big nights, 40 and 26, other guys are going to step up and make plays. And to your point, Austin Reeves, 23, and Rui off the bench, 17. That's where we'll go back and watch the film and figure out what we can do better and give them different looks to make it a lot harder for them.
Coach, You just kind of mentioned the switching on pick and rolls. Obviously, Jamal in foul trouble. What's that healthy balance for you of switching or fighting through the screen to keep your defensive matchup?
Yeah, it's we've been a switch team for most of the season with our small ball lineups. Guys not named Nicola, we switch quite a bit, and we challenge our smalls to fight guys like Karl Anthony Towns, to fight guys like Kevin Durant, and obviously tonight LeBron and Rui. They have their way with us down there. And then our tough two is going to beat you. And if you start double teaming, do you open up the 3-point line? So we'll once again watch the film and see how we can do a better job, especially in that second half, of just making it harder. I really liked how we played in the first half. Got off to a tremendous start, 21-point lead, but they just continued to chip away, and they made a game of it. And fortunately, we were able to pull it out.
When the Lakers were making that run in the fourth, what did you sense from the guys when you called a couple of timeouts, and how they responded to that running, and they ultimately, won the game?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think it was imperative for everybody. Just went into one of the timeouts, and everybody just, a lot of time left. They've made their run. We have 2 timeouts left. Let's go down and get a score out of the timeout and get a stop, and take control of the game once again. And a lot of our guys are battle tested. We've been in a ton of close games, and I didn't think there was any panic. I think there was poise, and our guys looked at one another and realized what we had to do to close this game out. And the second to last timeout, our guys did a great job of adhering to the game plan. We forced a turnover. So we know winning game 2 is going to be even that much harder, but we'll be better, I think, come game 2 as well.
Coach, KCP's always been bringing it on defense, but he's had a couple of games now with big scoring outputs. What are you seeing from him? His ability is it matching what the game demands in terms of veteran leadership? Is it matching what the game demands in terms of coverages? What are you seeing in these last couple outings from him?
What I'm seeing is a 10-year vet who's won a world championship and who is built for moments like these. Whether it's in the Phoenix series, Game 5 and 6. I mean, the first quarter he had in Game 6 in Phoenix was just incredible. And, I marveled at his game tonight, not just the defensive end, but, 21 points, knocks down some big threes. Late in the game, drove the ball and finished over Anthony Davis with a finger roll. So, KCP, that's why we went out and got a guy like that, who's been in these situations before and who embraces this opportunity. And I think that's exactly what he's doing.
Michael, to follow the poise rather than panic statement you made, for an old guy like myself, I've seen a lot of ghosts of past playoff failures during that run. What does it say about the maturity of this team that it didn't fold under it was a hard run by the Lakers?
Oh, really hard run. I mean, they definitely had us on our heels, and they became the aggressor and switched, turned the tide in this game with how aggressive they were playing. And, late in the game, they put Rui on Nicola, and they were just free safetying with Anthony Davis and letting him man the paint and make it look really crowded. And, our execution can be better, but we made enough big plays down the stretch on both ends of the floor, kids, to win the game. And we talked a lot about how the Lakers had gone into Memphis. They had gone into Golden State and won game 1s and wrestled, controlled the series right away. And we worked too hard for that. We didn't want to give it away. And come Thursday night, it's going to be even that much harder because, they're going to get off to a better start, I imagine. And so our game plan discipline and our defensive acumen and just disposition has to be a lot better for closer to 48 minutes.
Wanted to ask about Nicola's start. He told us the other day he didn't have a strategy against Anthony Davis, but I think his actions probably told otherwise. He looked about as aggressive, trying to take him off the dribble and attack the rim. Can you talk about how he set that tone, and was that about as hard as you've seen Nicola drive to the rim that many times?
Yeah, well, it was interesting. When you look at the game tonight, his first post-up, they double-teamed. And they were sending an extra body at him early on. We had a great example. We showed at halftime where they double-teamed him. KCP cut to the basket, got a layup. And then they started guarding him one-on-one. Then they switched the matchup. And all what you expect when you're guarding a great player like Nicola, because you have to give him different looks from a game plan standpoint and from a personnel standpoint. But I would agree, I thought when he felt there was one-on-one coverage, facing up and getting to the basket and using that understated athleticism to finish in traffic. And that was great to see. and he's going to continue to have to do that at a high level. But the rebounding, I thought his rebounding early on, I think there was a point in this game we were up rebounding, I think 22-3. And so we were just kind of imposing our will on the glass. And that's got to be for 4 quarters. It just can't be for a half.
Michael, you mentioned what Jamal was going through. 12 of 20, finishes with 31 points. What was he able to do in the past few days in terms of practice? And as much as you can say, what was he going through? Obviously, non-COVID illness.
Yeah, it's I sometimes marvel at the kid because he hasn't done anything the last couple of days. You know, I mean, he came to listen to the film work, the personnel, but once we got to practice, we wanted him to go home and get some rest to try to get anything we could out of him tonight. And he showed up and performed like he always does. So, 31 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals and a block. And, what is he going through? I don't know. I think a little bug that's kind of gone through our whole team. And, but once that jump ball goes off, he's able to shake it off and perform at a high level. Thank goodness.
Coach DPOG.
You.
KCP.
really able to do much the last couple of days. How are you feeling?
I mean, manageable. Yeah, I got an ear infection on Saturday, so how ear infections are. They hurt a lot. So it's kind of waited. I couldn't really do much, like you said, on Saturday and Sunday.
What did tonight show you about maybe Jamal's toughness, and maybe what were your expectations over the last couple of days, knowing that he wasn't able to do anything?
I mean, I'm always telling him that we're going to need him. I appreciate all the energy and the effort that he's given us, knowing what he's going through. Shows a lot of toughness, and we need that from our leader.
Jamal, in that moment, the last quarter before you close the game, what were you thinking, and what were the team thinking about of that last run of the Lakers?
I mean, it's just weather the storm, not foul, rebound, not turn the ball over. Those are the things that were going through my mind at the time.
And KCP, you played for them on 2020. You won the ring, that ring before the game. Do you think you have like an advantage against them because of that?
No. I mean, it's a whole new team from the championship team that I was on. But just knowing them guys is an advantage. I played with them for 4 or 5 years. But I love our team here. The toughness that we come out with and we play with throughout the game, we're going to need it throughout the series.
It felt like you played off of Joker just about every way you could over the course of that game, cutting to the rim, spacing off when he's on the block, spacing for threes. Can you talk about how long it takes to develop a chemistry with a player like that, and how far, what percentage total chemistry do you think you have at this point in the season?
No, I mean, it don't take that long. I'm a basketball player. I adjust, to whatever I need to adjust to. My teammate, whatever they need me to do, and been playing with him for the whole season. So I feel like that's enough, to have a chemistry. And it take a long time, just playing off him, playing off the ball, playing off Maul. I feel like I fit perfect, just playing with these guys.
Kenny, as mentioned, you've played with LeBron recently, and now you're playing with a great in Joker. Could you tell us, you might be the best equipped to tell us just how similar these two players are?
I feel like the only difference is that, Bron can jump higher than Jokic. I think that's the only difference that I can see. I just love playing with Jokic, man. Willing passer, just dominant big man down there, and just seeing him do what he do, get everybody else going as well.
Looks like they went under on a couple of screens on you. Did that surprise you at all? And what's your mentality?
No, teams mix it up. A lot of teams mix it up. I've seen a lot of different coverages, so it's whatever.
All right, seen it all.
Coach Malone mentioned that they threw a couple different looks at Nikola, and send the double early. Nikola's beating him with the pass, and they go one-on-one, and then switch to Rui with AD kind of floating. Are you guys anticipating those adjustments, or is it something you have to see for a few possessions before you kind of alter how you guys are attacking it?
That's why it's a series, man. Sometimes it's tough to adjust mid-game, especially with matchups and all that, but I think we did a good job of just making shots and weathering their storm. But that's why it's a series. It can go back and forth. Both teams are going to make adjustments. I want to give a big shout out to Kay, though. How old are you?
30.
Boy. Yeah, man. Boy got a family, and every night, every day in practice, every game, he comes out with energy, running corner to corner, guarding the best guy, energy, making shots, and he doesn't let up. He's relentless. And tonight, he just got us going. And for all 4 quarters, he was talking. He's one of the most professional teammates I've had and been able to play with.
Hey, guys, I got a question for each of you. So, Jamal, game was close. Mike comes up with a big turnover that leads to securing the ball on the floor, leads to the oop to AG. How big was that with how tight the game was?
It was big. It was very big. I was a momentum swinger. Got the whole crowd back into it, and I don't remember the following play, but it felt like they got a little stagnant after that. I typically when you go have a big swing like that, it slows the tempo down for the other team. So I felt like that was a huge play, and on both ends.
And then, KCP, for you, I asked Coach the same question, but you know that LeBron and AD are their own challenge, kind of what y'all dealt with last series with Book and KD. How do you make things harder on their role players so that they aren't getting as easy to look, certainly Reeves down the stretch a couple times?
Continue to keep the pressure on them. Continue to just give them any look that we can. I feel like the more pressure we put on them, the more we force the other guys to make shots, make plays. It's better for us.
Contavious, I know you said you don't feel like you have an advantage going up against the Lakers, given that they were your former teammates. But do your eyes light up when you see that they clinched, that they beat the Warriors and secure a matchup against you guys? You're like, all right, I get to go up against them again.
No, my eyes didn't light up. I just feel like this is next series, next team. But it's exciting just to play against them and to be able to go through these guys to get to the finals. It's gonna be I know it's gonna be a competition throughout this whole series, and that's what I like about the game. Competing. And see which better team come out.
And Jamal said you were talking constantly. In as much as you can say, what were you encouraging the guys?
Just keep playing hard. Don't let up. Continue to do what we was doing. Defend, rebound, get out in transition, and just force everybody to make shots. We don't play the clock. Or the score. Let's just keep playing. And that's what I love about this team. We don't let up, no matter what happens. They had a good run in that fourth. But this team, I love it because we don't let up. We just buckle down. And get stops when we need them.
Jamal and KCP, you guys have seen a lot of Joker. Have you ever seen him drive that hard, that fast to the rim, and dunk twice like that?
That spin move was tough. That gave me more energy. The spin move to the dunk, it just gave me more energy. To keep playing hard. My teammate was ready, and willing to do whatever it takes. We get this win.
Yeah, I've seen him do it a couple times in practice. He's got up, put back dunks. He can jump higher than you think.
Right. He definitely can. All right. See y'all. Thank you.
Nicola, were you at all surprised that they opted to start small? And why do you think you had such an advantage inside, and kind of just forcing your way through their defense?
Can you repeat?
Were you surprised at all that they started small? I think you had 17, 18 rebounds in the first half as a result. Why do you think you were so impactful inside?
I don't know. I thought our defense was really good. Our defense was really good, and I was just getting there to rebound the ball. So I think that's why, and they didn't surprise us. We knew they're gonna send Vando, or they're gonna start Vando, or they're gonna start Schroeder. So it was one of another. So they didn't surprise us.
Nicola, when you hit that three at the end of the third, AD smiled, and you looked like you shrugged at him. What were you thinking at that point?
Oh, sometimes the luck is on our side. It's a crazy shot, of course. It's not something that I'm working on, but I'm glad it went in.
You told us yesterday you don't have a strategy when you think about, like, should I be more physical or anything like that. You were very aggressive to start the game. What made you see that being aggressive was going to work?
It's a playoff. I mean, we need to be aggressive. We need to win a game. So, especially in front of home crowd, especially because they won 2 game ones. So it was. I think it's being aggressive. It's a normal right now.
Nicola, just a moment ago, Jamal said that Contavious was one of the most professional teammates he's ever had. As you're making this first playoff run with him on your team, can you just talk about what he brought tonight, what he's brought during these few weeks as you've been on this first postseason with him?
I think I answered on this question 17 times for real. KCP is he's a champion. He's a winner. He knows what to do. He's a professional. He's a vocal. He's tough. So he knows what's his role, and he's doing it the best in the world.
Nicola, you mentioned how good that defense was early, kind of disappeared in the second half. What was the biggest difference between what you guys did in the first half and what happened in the second half?
I mean, I think we would. I don't know, but it's not just us. It's them too. They're really good. They're a really good team. They have AD who is playing really well. Who they have LeBron who is affecting the games in every possible way. Austin Reeves played really well today for them. So Rui played really well for them too. So it's sometimes the offense beats the defense, I think.
Nicola, when they go big and keep Rui in there for a while, how does that kind of change things or make it more difficult?
I mean, we saw it before. We saw it against Minnesota. We saw it even in the season. So we were just. I had a couple turnovers. I missed shot. So I think it doesn't surprise us, but I think we're gonna figure it out because we did it last. I don't know. Whenever they did to us.
Going up against Anthony Davis in this series, you guys went one-on-one a lot tonight, a lot of possessions in the post. What's just the challenge in going against a defender that's so skilled, defending one-on-one like that?
Yeah, he's really, first of all, talented. He's a role threat. He can play in a pocket. He can play ISO. He can play on the post. So he's really talented. Probably the most skilled guy, if you think about the size and what he can do with the ball and how good mid-range or shooter he is and how he is attacking the glass. So I think probably one of the most talented player in the league.
Nicola,
I didn't answer, but I can answer it.
Nicola, there was a play as the lead was getting smaller, where Michael gets on the floor and digs out a loose ball and goes the other way for a fast break dunk. How important is it for Michael in those situations to just give it his all on the defensive end for you guys?
Yes, I mean he made a big block in the end, not at the end. I mean I don't know, fourth quarter, but yeah, that was a big moment. I was there.
and then ball went off of LeBron's leg. Then Mike got it on the floor, got it. Then he was fighting with LeBron for the ball. The ball went in the air. No, KCP took it and he passed to Jamal, and Jamal finished. Jamal passed to AG. Big moment. It was 3 for us, and then it was 5 for us in that moment. So big moment. And I think that's a play of basketball. Those kind of situations matters a lot.
It was a big battle between you and AD, but in the last quarter there was like adjustment, and Hachimura go to you. So were you surprised, or what can you tell us about that?
No, I just answered it on that question, my friend. Sorry.
Coach said it was panic. It was poised, not panic, in the fourth quarter. What did you see from your teammates when they were making the big comeback, and what impressed you most about your refusal to give in?
I mean, it's a playoff. I think it's a normal situation. Some team gets on the run, and some teams, sometimes offense beats defense. Sometimes I think it's normal, but we're gonna take a win and take 1-0 for us. So of course, I think we're good. We were getting looks. We got KCP on the 45 corner 3. I miss a mid range, whatever it was, fade away, something. Jamal miss. It was a mid range. Then AG got a big offensive rebound, and 2 free throws. I mean, I think in those situations, it's a moment you cannot think about it. What we're gonna do is you just play, and you just try to win a game and try to defend the possession or try to score in the possession.
Nikola, we know Jamal has been out the last couple of days, battling something. Comes up with 31 points. What impressed you most about his night?
I mean, he was playing really well. The whole playoffs, I think he's playing amazing. We all know that what he brings, and the toughness, and of course, maybe he just faked it. He didn't want to practice, just get it a couple days off.
Nicole, KCP said the only difference between you and LeBron is that he can jump higher than you. Do you feel like your games are similar?
That's a really offensive. I'm joking. I mean, to be compared with one of the best ever, or the best ever, I think it's really cool. It's really cool, but I don't know. I think we don't have a similar game. Maybe we have a similar global game, if that makes any sense. We affect the game in different ways, but he's a really good player.
Nikola, how important is it for you guys to play fast in this series?
I mean, we need to defend first so we can play fast. That's the goal, especially because we know how they are good in transition, and that's a big part of their game, transition and fast break points. And whenever we have offensive rebounds, so we can go. That's the best points we can get.
I just got to ask Nikola, what do you think of Michael Porter's suit tonight?
It was good. He's picking it up.